On the Culture Show tonight, we've got the world's coolest dancer, the greatest showman in rock and roll, and the country's newest landmark. We've got the biggest and best just for you. And welcome to the Culture Show. Coming up tonight, we find out the secrets of driving a crowd crazy from Master of the Art, Wayne Coyne of Flaming Lips. And its first big match was just a few hours ago, but is the new Wembley Stadium a gigantic own goal? Also on tonight's show, Carlos Acosta, the world's greatest dancer on breakdance and ballet. Helena Bonham Carter on the advantages of age.
I always really wanted to be a character actor, so this is my chance now that I've hit the old 40s.
And Mark Kermode on why we should all love skiffle. We're still in our summer residence at the South Bank Centre. Joining me here later is the multi-talented Ronnie Ancona. But first, Carlos Acosta. He grew up in the back streets of Havana. Now he's hailed as the greatest dancer in the world. He's premiering a new work at the Manchester International Festival this summer. Verity Sharp met the coolest man in dance.
Carlos Acosta is one of the most celebrated ballet dancers in the world. He was the first black principal dancer at Covent Garden, and his life is a rags to riches story, from breakdancing in the back streets of Havana to capturing the heart of the classical dance world. Later this year, his autobiography, No Way Back, will be published, and in July he'll premiere a new show for the Manchester International Festival, the second instalment of work based on his own life story.
So when you go to Cuba, do you kind of feel like you're going home, or do you feel like a bit of a tourist?
Cuba is always going to be my home. In my heart, that's the only country, you know. And because that's where all my relatives are, my memories, you know, and this is the only place I will never going to be a foreigner. You learn how to dance first and you learn how to speak, you know, in Cuba. It's something that is being passed on through generations and generations, you know. And it's also, you know, the heat and the tropic and the sea, and it's almost, that's what it's asking for, dance and music and happiness.
The youngest of 11 children, Carlos's father sent his street dancing son to ballet school at a young age in the hope that he would be disciplined by the strict regime.
My parents is one of those, you know, people that you could not go against.
Right.
You know, what can I do? If he say I'm going to be in fencing school, you know, I would do that, because otherwise it'd be trouble, you know. So I did tell him many times that I didn't want it to be, that I wanted to do something else, football, you know. But he didn't want to hear it, you know. So I went, and but thank God that he didn't want to hear it, because thanks to that I'm here now.
What was it like in the 80s when you were growing up?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was great. The memories that I have, you only have your neighbor. You didn't have, you know, movies, you didn't have all these things that you have today, and the human contact was there. And the community, sense of community and sense of brotherhood. You know, nowadays, the kids establish more relationship to the internet and the Nintendo than your neighbor, you know.
At 16, Carlos left Cuba for the first time and travelled to Europe. He won 4 major dance competitions in 1 year, and his career as an international ballet dancer was launched.
The thing is about classical dance is that there's no way around it. You need to be disciplined, because you need to train and mold and shape your body. You don't have freedom, you know, it's very strict. It's in a mall, you cannot get out. You know, that's hard. because the minute that you don't do a step well done, people will know that it's not well done.
Good. Stay, go. E, up, stay.
But it's also a certain pleasure also in that challenge, you know, to challenge your body.
Like slightly sadistic sort of.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I know you're in pain, but, you know, I'm gonna make you work.
Stay. That's right.
To really, you know, shine is very hard. You need to almost forget about everything and just concentrate and live for it.
Do you worry that your body's going to sort of retaliate when you actually stop?
I will eventually. We all, you know.
Yeah.
This is the law of life, you know. Eventually, you know, I'm gonna have to accept it that, you know, I'm not Romeo anymore, or I'm not Prince Charming anymore, you know. Because, you know, you grow up and you go further away from the 16-year-old roles, you know. And, you know, when you don't bring that freshness anymore, and then it's time to execute plan B.
If you had become a footballer, I mean, you would have been at the same sort of athletic level, wouldn't you? But you wouldn't have had this artistic outlet. I mean, you need that.
The footballer wishes to be at the athletic level we are. It's not like, okay, come on, pass me the ball and score, and yeah, running. But we had to run, we had to jump while lifting a girl with one hand, you know, and act. But yeah. It's very tough, you know, to be a ballet dancer.
If you were to go out on a Saturday night and after a few beers, I mean, would you end up going back to your breakdancing?
Cuba. I'm
really?
not gonna,
You'd go on it,
yeah, of course. You know, I'm not gonna do a double tour in the middle of, you know, something. I'm not gonna do. Excuse me, may I have a beer? You know, I'm not gonna do that. You know,
so it's
myself,
the Latin dance. That,
yeah, I'm Latin. Every bit of it.
Despite his love of Cuba and Latin dance, Carlos Acosta has conquered the world of classical ballet. He's perhaps the most famous male dancer of his generation and one of the very few to ever become a household name.
And you can see Carlos at the Lowry in Manchester on the 13th and 14th of July. Joining me now is the woman who made Carol Smiley even more smiley and Victoria Beckham even more pouty.